Okay, cool. Hi, everyone. I'm Mango Jones, and joining me today is Anna Haven.
Hello.
And we're starting a deep dive into Girl Defined Ministries. And Anna has already said that they know nothing of Girl Defined.
So I'm going in this rabbit hole for the very first time. Know absolutely nothing about it. I was raised secularly, so there's a lot of stuff like this I just know nothing about. So yeah, take me on a journey, I suppose.
Okay, so for anyone that doesn't know who Girl Defined is, they're based out of San Antonio, Texas. They're evangelicals. Their mom and dad, Michael and Heidi, they pretty much bankrolled them for the first few years of starting the ministry. Their siblings are Michael, Stephen, Alyssa, Timothy, Rebecca, and Susanna. And the only reason that I mention them is because further into this series, we are going to be looking at their fuck shit too.
So this all just plays into an even greater story. So this is just like one chapter in like a huge book of something.
Oh, yes. Yes, it is.
Oh boy.
So, Girl Defined was founded in 2014, and their goal was to help modern girls understand and live out God's timeless truth for womanhood. And at the time of being founded, Kristen was 27, married, all good, and Bethany was 26, single, and living at home because she was 26 and single. And for some reason, when they started out this ministry, they decided that their main goal, beyond what I just read, was to appeal to teenage girls and younger college age girls, which is just really awkward.
Yeah, it's really weird that they go after that particular demographic. Like, I feel like religion can be predatory enough without going after like a specific group of people even, and then trying to make it about them. It's weird.
It is, especially since all of the Baird children were homeschooled. They went to the school of the dining room table. They never got a formal education, but they think that they can educate other people.
So they don't even know what the fuck they're talking about, even from like, the average sense of someone who's doing this type of thing. Even from that perspective, like they're uninformed and stupid. Okay.
Yeah, they are completely uninformed and stupid. And every single time they get pushback on something, they blame, just like all cows on the internet, they blame cancel culture. They don't blame their lack of education. They don't blame what other people have taught them to be the truth that they now spout as the truth.
So like basically that's become like the ultimate scapegoat for people to like ignore any like criticism that's being sent their way. Oh, I'm just trying to get canceled. It's like, sometimes people have legitimate criticisms and grievances with people that actually do need to be aired out and talked about. We can't just all call it cancel culture every single fucking time.
We can't, but they're white, straight Christians, so they have to feel persecuted in some sort of way.
Even though they aren't at all. They're probably the least fucking persecuted people on the entire goddamn planet.
Oh, they absolutely are. I mean, every year they ask for like $30,000 in donation around Christmas, and they end up meeting their goals. They end up doing the things they want to do. They put out all of these blog posts trying to teach people, and they're living their best life, but they're persecuted
on other people's
because
money.
Pushback. Yeah. Oh,
That's
yeah.
fucking nuts.
And what they use for educating are scare tactics, half truths. They like to push this idea that if you have any sort of off thought, any sort of lustful thought, that you're rotten, you're done, it's over. There's no fixing it.
Oh, your audio is kind of like cutting out a bit there for some reason. Like the last couple sentences you said for some reason. I don't know. It might have just been on my end. I don't know. But,
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So in their purity culture. Oh, Hyun's going to join us in a few minutes.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. All right, you were saying about their purity culture.
Yes. So, like, the very first blog post that we're going over is about your mind virginity, because that's a thing. Apparently,
That sounds
you can't
gross
just
already, but okay.
Well, see, Kristen wrote this one, and mind you, at the time that she wrote this, she was already happily married. She was doing her thing. And this sentence just, it gets me. The problem I had, and that so many single Christian girls have today, is that they're saving their bodies for marriage, but aren't saving their minds.
Oh, I knew it was going to come down to this bullshit. So they're basically saying you shouldn't even be thinking about sex ever.
Oh, no. You see, you can't be lustful. You can't do anything that's on the edge of being friendly towards another person.
You can only consider it for the act of procreation. Like, I want to have a kid one day. Is that basically the angle here? Just
Yes.
trying to, like, wow. Okay, that's that's very uncomfortable, but okay.
And yes, Biomagitech, I have seen the father-daughter balls where the girls dress up in like white dresses most of the time, and their
Yeah,
fathers
that's
take
weird.
them to the church for a dance, and they have to like sign a contract promising their fathers that they'll save themselves until marriage, pretty much promising themselves to their dad.
That's gross. Yeah, I've heard of that before. I didn't know that was an actual thing because I've only like seen it in pop culture, but apparently that's real. That's really that's
Yes,
nasty.
that's
Yeah.
very much a real thing.
Oh, that's nasty.
That's nasty.
Hey, what's up, Jan?
Howdy, Anna. Howdy, Mango. Sorry, I was
Howdy,
a
howdy.
little late. I was playing Space Engineers.
Space engineer.
Oh, you're fine.
Yeah.
We haven't been going that long.
Yeah. But yeah, purity culture is pretty friggin' weird. It's I think it's pretty close to maybe in a way the Quiverful movement. Have you ever heard of that?
Yes, the Duggars were a part of the Quiverful movement. Many fundamentalist families that are in some sort of spotlight have been a part of it. But their form of purity culture is slightly different.
Okay. Yeah, I was like, this is a topic that doesn't come up very often. So I'm here, I guess, to figure things out.
But this, I mean, it does just seem like an extreme version of like what a lot of fucking Christian parents would force on their fucking children anyway, though. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure that there's plenty of people. I'm sure there's plenty of fucking people, even around this fucking community, who have had to deal with the same type of shit when they were being raised. Maybe even in some cases, even fucking worse than this. Who the fuck knows? It's just, I feel like that people like this just show a highlight on just how down fucking people can get, like when they actually just believe something so much that they're willing to do anything. And if these people even believe it, and they're not just using it as a chance to like manipulate people, because I do believe that's a lot of fucking religious people too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we'll get into that later, like in a different stream, because there's so many things that they have done while trying to preach all of this that's terrible.
All right, that's gross. But let's continue.
Yeah.
So Kristen says that, you know, a lot of Christians think lust is just a guy problem, which I've never heard anyone fucking say that.
Yeah, not a one.
And apparently she's read story after story of Christian single girls who became enslaved to a certain lustful sexual sin. But she doesn't say what the sin is,
Mm-hmm.
because there are technically many sexual sins.
There's many sins in general. I guess that is a way to drum up fear and intense doubt. Like, oh no, am I doing wrong by the Lord?
Oh, did I perform the sexual sin?
Yeah, that's one of those things. Sexual sin.
See, a lot of their lustful habits apparently started out as innocently as browsing a Facebook page, accidentally stumbling across a bad website, reading a Christian romance novel, or wandering into an Abercrombie store.
That's an attempt to enforce thought crime on people.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. Thought crime. Oh, the Lord's watching. You better not be thinking impure thoughts.
Oh, yeah. The last line of this small section. One little thought, one little image, one little linger of the imagination slowly became an enslaving, lustful habit for these girls.
This kind of reads really weirdly. Like, we don't want you to think about sex, but we're gonna talk about sex, so you're gonna think about sex.
Oh, we're going to talk about sex all the fucking time.
Oh Lord. Oh, I'm gonna gird my loins for this one.
Holy fuck. Get it? Yeah, holy fuck. Yeah.
God is a pervert. He likes to watch. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Oh, howdy, Miss Parker.
Oh man, that's great. Hey, what's up, Ms. Parker?
Ooh, hey,
We
Miss
got
Parker.
a bunch of beautiful people here already. That's cool to see.
This is the cool side of the pillow.
Yeah, we got a bunch of chill ass people in the chat. That's cool to see. Yeah.
Oh, see,
Anyway, yeah.
This statistic that she decides to pull from a Christian website, just, it makes me giggle. Because, girls are struggling at a shockingly high rate with lust. And we need to wake up and open up about this major problem. The Internet Filter Review from ChristianityToday.com documents...
That's their source?
Yes, that is their source. It documents
Wow.
that 70% of women keep their cyber activities secret, but 1 of 3 visitors to all adult websites are women. That means 7 out of 10 of you reading this blog right now keep your cyber activities a secret.
Who the fuck just goes out and parades their fucking internet search history?
That's like finding a Pornhub video and going and clicking on "Make this my homepage."
Hey, you know who
does
doesn't
that?
actually? You know who actually doesn't go out and like give like a full documentation of their fucking internet search history? 10 out of 10 people, not 7 out of 10. It's fucking 10 out of 10 people. Where the fuck is this statistic coming from? Oh, probably Christianity Today.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
ChristianityToday.com says so. So it must be true.
What a reputable source on the internet. Praise Jesus.
Oh no, there's one little bit down a different blog post that decides to quote the owner of Covenant Eyes.
The
same software that Josh Duggar's wife had on his computer that he got around.
A shitty filter, not quite like the 86 R2000 that I had dealt with.
Right.
That is a filter on fucking steroids, by the way. That was like 20 years ago, so times have changed apparently.
Now, see, she decides that she's going to use a house metaphor to describe the way that our minds work. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Every person is like a house. We keep our front rooms looking clean and pretty for when the guests come over. We might even keep the kitchen clean and the bathroom shiny. We want everyone to think our house is beautiful and free of dirt. What our guests don't see are the bedrooms way in the back. We keep those doors closed tight and don't allow anyone in. Those rooms are full of dust, disorganized, and are really dirty. We put on a good front, but keep our dirt behind closed doors. You just said that like 3 times.
That's a terrible fucking analogy, by the way.
Well, it's probably close to how the brain actually functions, because in the back you usually see everything. So, I guess I must have to change my glasses because they're full of dirt.
Oh,
Riding
but
dirty.
Yeah.
isn't that so true when it comes to mental purity? We look so good on the outside. We're pros at putting on the church smile and dressing nicely. In fact, we might even try to dress modestly and do godly things like saving sex for marriage. But our houses are dirty and rotten on the inside.
Sounds like a very I don't know, subtle call out,
Oh, yeah.
or big tell.
A little column A, a little column B.
Yeah.
Slim, that's the private show. Shh. Stop it.
Oh my god.
Hallelujah.
But see, she's talking about how you can't have these lustful thoughts, or else you're dirty and rotten. You're a terrible person. But she said in a different blog post that we're going to read that she had lustful thoughts and wanted to have sex with her husband before marriage. And who doesn't have those thoughts?
Yeah, that's like a human condition. Hey, this person gets me horny. I want to fuck. But
Oh, but
God says no.
I just told all of these impressionable young girls that their minds are rotten if they think like this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it's okay because it was me.
It's still that rules for thee but not for me crowd.
Yeah.
I fucking hate double standards. There's nothing I hate more than a double standard.
Yeah. One standard's enough. Thank you. But
Yeah,
apparently
the first
no.
standard usually sucks enough, so why do we need a second one?
This sounds primarily like man's standard and God's standard, and you got to be on God's standard, which is silly on its face.
Oh, but see, it's not even really God's standard. It's their interpretation of what godly womanhood is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
I mean, we don't know what his standards are. Her standards are. Their standards are.
It's standard. It's a friggin' mystery because it's left to people to interpret, and the interpretations are so all over the goddamn place that it's not even worth fucking acknowledging sometimes. That is until something happens.
Something did indeed happen.
Yes. Purity
Events
culture. Oh boy, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be fun.
The Bible.
Yes, because we are going to learn the 5 hard truths of flirting from the godly Christian purity standpoint.
All right, I'm ready to see how far I've fallen from the grace of God.
Well, I mean, you already have. Like,
oh yeah.
Come on now, we all have.
Yep.
Oh, but these women are going to tell us exactly, how bad we should feel about ourselves for it.
Mm-hmm. So yeah.
Yeah. And she's right in that the Bible doesn't give room for flirting, but she also doesn't tell you that what the Bible's definition of being sexually alluring and provocative and rebellious are up to interpretation. She doesn't tell you this. you don't know what someone else sees as sexually alluring.
Mm-hmm.
Because she wants everyone to know that in the Bible, God makes very clear distinctions between a wise woman and a wild woman. And a wise woman does not flirt in a way that is deceptive or selfish, but it's to give love and to serve.
Hooray, patriarchy. Serve your man. Serve him.
No.
And then serve God. Whatever the fuck that
Especially
means.
a no to that.
Yeah.
And see, the way that the Bible describes a wise woman is she's wise with her tongue, avoids sexual sin, keeps her eyes from sin, fears the Lord, and loves purity. But these are all pulled so far out of context. She just gives you little snippets of words. She doesn't give you full passages.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're all from very disparate areas like Proverbs, First Corinthians, Psalm 101, and Psalm 31, and Philemon.
Oh, they love to pull the stereotypical First Corinthians to describe their marriages and everything.
Mm. Yeah. That letter to the Corinthians. That's an asshole letter right there.
Oh, but you can't tell them that.
Oh no, because then I'm gonna get a cross shoved in my face. You're bad. You're wicked. Yeah, I know. Whoop-de-doo. You're.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say your god is a mishmash of a weakling volcano god. Get thee behind me. Get thee behind me. I'm not gonna even bother invoking Satan because he doesn't get behind. That's an injunction from a different part of the Bible. Anyways, yeah.
It's very clear by this that they had always been given a black and white definition of what is a wild and what is a wise woman, because the wild woman is focused on self-service and boosting her own interests, while the wise woman is focused on glorifying God and pushing others towards him.
So basically, just another fucking religious fucking nun. That's what they want. A nun, basically.
Just more proselytization, essentially. You know, very what's the term? Very very upright, very chaste. Doesn't dabble in anything except maybe the Bible.
Sounds like the
Knitting.
most boring existence imaginable, honestly.
Oh, of course. Dreary.
They're always talking about what women are doing wrong, how women are doing wrong. These are women talking about other women doing wrong, but you never see them mention men, except women pursuing men and women being wrong about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it's supposed to be.
I don't agree with this next part, that flirting is motivated by pride and selfishness.
Oh my god.
I don't think so.
The only reason why someone would project that idea onto someone else is because that's the only way that they're capable of flirting with someone. Anytime that the person who wrote this article has ever flirted with someone, yeah, maybe this is what they've wanted. Just to, have that fulfillment. But that doesn't mean that's what everybody is looking for whenever they have flirted with someone in human history. To lay it down like your experience is the only one that matters or makes sense is basically the Christian way at this point. But
this article in particular was written by Bethany, and Bethany loves to talk about singleness. When Girl Defined started in 2014, she was single. She didn't get married until 2018 when she was 30. And even still, to this day, she talks so much about singleness. You have a husband, talk about marriage, like filter to your new audience, quit focusing on this younger audience, and quit telling them what they're doing wrong in their singleness, because clearly you did something fucking wrong too.
Yeah, it sounds like a case of the blind leading the blind in a way, or the blind making the blind be led. Yeah, not tailoring anything to your audience is a sure sign of losing the fucking script in a way. I think it's probably weighed so much in her mind that it's kind of stuck in a rut. She's stuck in a rut, you know.
And she's been in a rut for the last 33 years.
Oh Lord, that's bad. I couldn't imagine being in a rut that long.
Well, you know, she is told how much she's supposed to be this godly, perfect woman, and how she's supposed to help all of these other people be godly women. But she's so condescending to everyone. Even in a blog post, she is condescending as shit. I see so many single girls flirting with guys, and I see so much of myself in them. When I hear their reasoning for why flirting is okay, I just want to say some hard truths. Sister, be honest with yourself. You're flirting for you. You like you. Quit playing the silly game and acting like you're looking out for his best interest. You're not. If we're truly honest about flirting, self is the center of it all. God never condones selfishness, self-promoting, or anything along those lines. We are called to reflect him and point others to him, not ourselves.
So yeah, even though God has this apparently he created this, this world with all these fucking, vivid landscapes and all these interesting diverse people, but no, we shouldn't engage with any of them on any serious or romantic level until we're ready for marriage. We shouldn't experience any of the world beyond our very, very fucking narrow town or wherever the fuck we live. We should never go anywhere else. We should never experience any other fucking culture. I fucking hate this milquetoast bland ass just, oh yeah, never see anything else, never experience anything different from yourself. Just live in a bubble. Just do the same thing every single fucking day over and over again. It's disgusting.
It is exceedingly insular.
And look, if someone wants to live that way, that's fine with them. But honestly, it's not going to make you happy. It's definitely not going to fucking make you happy. You need to have some fucking flavor. You need to have some fucking spice in your life.
If you have spice, then you're going to have a lustful thought, and then you're rotten. Can't get married if you're rotten.
That's absurd on its face, and obviously we know this, but they fail to see it. This is basically the first step in putting the blinders on somebody, getting
this
them
is
to
exactly what they're trying to do, is put the blinders on them. They are trying to tell these impressionable teenagers and young college students, hey, you should be afraid of God. You should be afraid of your own thoughts. You should be afraid that you're never going to get married. And if you flirt too much with someone, then you're sinning.
Yeah. I'm probably going to say that a lot because this is one of those things that gets really flabbergasting. How anybody could find value in a mindset like this is fucking bewildering.
Apparently, enough people find value in it because they hold conferences in their hometown every year. They get people that pay actual money to be mentored by them.
That is surprising, and also, how do I put it? I'm almost not shocked.
Yeah.
Like I did Bible camp a long time ago, right? And I learned some of the dirtiest rhymes that a 12-year-old could possibly figure out. I this is the big leap into, yeah, you're gonna follow God's law and you're gonna hate your own brain. You're gonna end up being fucking neurotic.
Oh, that's fine, Anna. We'll see you when you get back.
But yeah, I don't want to keep you from reading too much. So,
Well, see, parts 3 and 4 of this whole thing they go hand in hand.
mm-hmm.
Because they're asking what's at the core of the flirtatious act. The desire to be valued, to feel beautiful, to make someone jealous, boost your own image. And whatever the reason, flirting will never give you what you truly want. It can't. Even if you get the guy's attention, it won't last.
So kind of like setting them up for, I guess, failure on that front.
Yeah, but they say that flirting is very short-sighted, and she wants to know, is there nothing wrong with flirting because you're single? What about when you have a boyfriend? Are you still okay with flirting with other guys and him with other girls?
Depends on the person. Literally that. Literally. Congratulations. Question answered. How many other ones? What about when you get married? Hey, I have heard of open marriages before. That is nothing new in this fucking world. Doesn't matter about sanctifying God or whatever the fuck kind of spooky language is cropping up in this. But yeah. Bill Hicks basically said, we're fucking the free children of God, and we can make up the rules as we fucking go along. And we don't have to stick to any silly dogma like this. Because this is absolutely ruinous.
Slim, you should always wear a short skirt, though. Like, you got good legs.
Whatever blows your skirt up, I guess.
But see, like, they don't understand that the entire point of flirting when you're single is to gauge whether or not the other person is interested.
Yeah, because you don't just automatically, hey, let's go get married. I hardly even know you. Yeah, let's go to Las Vegas. Fuck it.
Oh, hey, I just met you. We should start dating, like, right now. No. Generally, when someone is flirting with someone else, they've gotten to know that person at least a little bit, and they're trying to see what can happen.
Exactly.
Where it can go. And it's a natural part of life. It's a natural part of figuring out dynamics in relationships. It's figuring out what you want, what they want. It's a line of communication.
Yeah, it's basically like getting on the shortwave and going CQ, CQ. Anybody out there? CQ, CQ. But yeah, I guess flirting just goes over this woman's head. As far as what does and doesn't bring glory to God.
I think Slim has like 6 wives now.
6? Damn.
I mean, as soon as he meets a nice girl, he asks her to marry him right away.
Better be able to take care of them nice wives. Yeah. Better be able to take care of them all. Oops, sorry, that's Saudi Arabia. I'm sorry. Me being crass. Who'da thunk it?
I mean, even then, people like her would interpret like a lot of the things that I say to my guy friends is flirting. When it's joking. Like, I just told Slim to wear a short skirt because he has nice legs, and they would probably tell me that I'm a harlot.
Yeah. It's like you said, it's that black and white mentality that there's no middle room. There's no chance for misinterpretation. It has to be A or B, cannot be C on down to Z. It's got to be one of the two. And that's a very harmful outlook on life and how people interact.
Oh, yes. And, you know, with her final point to this whole thing, everything we do in life, whether you eat or drink or whatever you do, should all be done in the glory of God. Everything means everything.
And that would be absolutely tiresome. I would probably be shunned. I don't
Honestly,
go to church.
she would be shunned too. Because,
So,
I mean, Bethany is the type of Christian that she will write this shit down. She will put it out there. She will make videos about this shit. But then when you turn around and you look at her Instagram, if you look at her Facebook, if you look at pictures on family members' Facebooks and Instagrams, you will see that she's constantly belittling other women. She's constantly playing the victim. She's constantly asking for money for whatever grift she's on. Where's God in that?
Yeah, where is God? I don't think she can answer that question.
No, she can't. Just like she can't answer the question, are you really attracted to your husband?
I guess we will find out.
Oh, yes, weird. Ooh. Any picture that you see of the two of them, she's got this like really weird giant smile that looks completely staged. Or she's kissing him and it looks like they've never kissed before in their lives.
Oh, wow. That is... Imagining that has to be... Wow. that blows my mind.
They somehow managed to have a kid together. I'm impressed.
Yeah, I would be too. With a really fake-ass smile.
She does the same fake smile in like all of the photo shoots for Girl Defined. It's unsettling. That's the right word for it.
Well, at some point we'll see.
Oh no, I'm about to show you that unsettling like gape mouth smile thing.
Oh God.
You find a good one of it. Because it's...
Oh no. I'm readying the yikes button. I'm yeah.
Oh, she doesn't, when she's doing photo shoots with younger women, she doesn't know how to close her mouth, I guess. She doesn't know how to make her smile feel natural.
Yeah, the appropriate way to smile, and it just totally slipped her mind. I mean, the more you describe this, the more I'm going to be like, oh Lord, that's a smile that tells me, please get me out of here. Please get me out of here.
Oh, just you wait. You're about to see it. I found a good one.
Oh,
their
God.
Profile picture on Facebook. It's so bad. So bad. Embrace it.
I wish I had my glasses off for this. That is top row awkward. Wow.
Yeah. She does that in all of their photo shoots. She does that in the vast majority of pictures with her husband. She can't person. She can't people.
It's like somebody assumed her form, and yeah, she can't people worth a fuck, because that's blurst. That's blurs. That's worse than the Gormfeld I bought.
Oh, but I love Gormfeld. He's
Oh yeah,
adorable.
yeah.
But this is not.
This, yeah. That's not a human smile. Yeah, no. You're right. You're right. That's not a human smile. That's a I'm going to suck your eyeballs out kind of smile.
Oh, see, she smiles like that in pictures with Gen Z women that they somehow managed to convince to model their merch for them,
Mm-hmm.
and also trying to act like she's one of the kids.
Oh God.
And yes, Ty, you are
Awkward.
modded. Because if I have you modded, then you won't become plant food. Like, it works. Okay?
It's always nice to have a jet in employ.
But yes, she has not accepted the fact that she is in her 30s, a mother, living the way that God told her that she's supposed to live and the way she tells other women to live, because she doesn't know how to cook. She doesn't clean. She's barely attentive to her child. Like, she recorded a video of herself on her Instagram where she's sitting there like stressed out and upset because her son's crying. They're in a parking lot. She's not trying to console him. She is not taking the time to figure out what the issue is. She's just complaining on social media because, oh my God, this is so difficult. Be a parent.
Yeah, a very Stepford wife. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that those eyes betray the fact that there's no life behind them. It's like, I am a robot for God. I am a robot for God. Praise God. Praise God. It's like a God detector.
So, we've covered the lustful thoughts. We've covered the flirting. We've covered how bad all of this is in their eyes. But now we get to have some fun.
Oh boy, I'm ready.
It's time for scare tactics and half-truths about sex.
Oh boy. Wow, okay. I am somewhat ready.
Okay, so keep in mind, they were educated at their dining room table. They did not get any form of formal education. So what they believe sex ed in schools to be is what they see, in whatever movies and TV shows their mom allowed them to watch.
Oh boy. This is going to get nasty.
It's more frustrating than nasty because of all of the assumptions that are made with no actual research put into it, because it only takes about 2 seconds to Google something if you're really fucking curious about it.
Mm-hmm. And they didn't even have that luxury at the dining room table, I wager.
There's no telling what happened at that dining room table, especially with some of the stuff that we're going to get to in other streams.
I see.
Mm-hmm. Like, the fact that most of her brothers have changed their last name to Mershon. Because they found out that the person that they thought was a relative of theirs was actually an adoptive relative. So they found out who the real relative was and changed their last name to his.
That's a sign.
It's a big sign. It was also a big sign when, Bethany and her husband were on their honeymoon in Austria, and they posed by her Nazi great-grandfather's grave and kept deleting comments from people asking about his Nazi history.
Big oof. Big oof. Oh,
so,
shit.
I mean, there's no telling what happened at that dining room table, but clearly it was some fucked up version of education that doesn't actually cover anything. of value.
I would strain to call it education at this point.
Brainwashing, does that fit it better?
Indoctrination.
Yeah.
Brainwashing. Yeah. Yeah. That's some shit.
Okay. So I can tell you right now that her first thing about article after article explaining what safe sex education is and how to put it into practice is bullshit. She didn't actually research, she got confirmation bias.
Mm-hmm. Like, I can read already one popular website stated, and she doesn't state the website. That great research right off the bat. Or the fucking par excellence. Mwah.
Oh, yes, it is so wonderful. Like, however, at the end of each article, there was always a small disclaimer, kind of a do at your own risk sort of disclaimer. Well, that's anytime you flirt with someone, anytime you have sex with someone, anytime you try and engage in some sort of relationship that isn't just platonic with someone, you're doing it at your own risk. Like,
Yeah.
but a safe sex education thing is not a risk. Teaching safe sex is going to mitigate risks.
Yeah. Because basically the safest sex you can have is with your fucking hand.
Yeah, if that gets boring.
Yeah, it does. But it's safe and effective. Nobody gets pregnant.
And when people say safe sex and they don't realize this, it's not to be deceitful.
Mm.
It is to imply that you are doing what you can to protect yourself and your partner.
And this entire thing, I guess, is a very bad attempt at invalidating all that actual research behind it. Because God says no.
Oh, God says no. And for some reason, making sure that anyone understands the risks involved, anyone understands what is out there for you to be able to use as a resource to protect yourself, all of it is wrong. Now, she actually did quote the CDC here, but she doesn't put it in there that it was from the CDC website, so go you.
Wow.
In the United States alone, there are 20 million new STD infections each year. There are 110 million STDs among men and women in the US today. 50% of new infections are in people ages 15 to 24. Yes, that is true. That is straight from the fucking CDC. But she doesn't realize that the education system, when it comes to reproductive health in the US, is fucking shit.
Yep. Yeah, it is. Absolutely.
She was taught at her dining room table where she was told, you have sex before marriage, you die. But come on. We all know you fucked your husband before your wedding. Like, we know. We're well aware. And acting as though safe sex is actually taught in school. 29 states and the District of Columbia mandate sex education. That's 29 of the 50 states that mandate it. 35 states require schools to stress abstinence when sex education or HIV STI instruction is provided. That's most of the fucking country that's pushing abstinence. 16 states require instruction on condoms or contraception when sex education or HIV STI instruction is provided.
and not providing that to the remaining 34 states and one federal district is the reason why these infections are appearing. Because they don't know. They haven't been told the ins and outs.
15 states do not require sex education or HIV, STI instruction to be any of the following: age appropriate, medically accurate, culturally responsive, or evidence-based, evidence informed. I live in one of those states. It does not have to be accurate at all. As long as the school board and the parents that are at the meeting approve of it, it can be taught.
That's disturbing.
Only 9 states out of the 50 require sex education or HIV, STI instruction to include information on consent. Consent.
Holy shit. Oh, wow.
Yeah. They do not discuss the fact that you can, revoke consent at any point in time and want someone to stop, and they need to stop. They do not tell you that, your partner pushing your buttons and pressuring you, oh, come on, can't we? Oh, come on, can't we? Until you finally just go, fine, fuck, yeah, is not consent. They don't explain these things to you in most of the country.
That is some serious fucking bullshit. More states obviously need to get their shit together. But I imagine that the Deep South is going to be one of those hot pockets of resistance.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Abso-fucking-lutely. Only 8 states require culturally responsive sex education and instruction.
Wow.
7 states have policies that include affirming sexual orientation instruction on LGBTQ identities or discussion of sexual health for LGBTQ youth. 7 states do that. The rest of the country does not give a fuck.
I think it's safe to say America's ass backwards.
Of the 43 states that do not have policies that include LGBT, 9 of them explicitly require instruction that discriminate against LGBTQ people.
Fucking hell.
9 states have laws in place that make sure that your school systems will teach kids, teenagers, whoever, that your end goal is a heterosexual relationship. In my state, they don't teach about contraception unless in the context of you're in a heterosexual relationship and you're married.
That is god awful.
Yeah, it is. And people like them want to sit here and say, oh, well, they're teaching you all about sex. They're teaching you all about these things. They're fucking not.
No, they're literally outlining the basics and hygiene.
They want to know, why this number is so high, how it's so scary, and everything's so dangerous. It's because we are not educated on it.
Yeah.
It's because there are parents that expect the school to educate you on it, but the school doesn't teach you anything. There's school systems that allow parents to opt their children out of sex ed. Like, they can just be like, oh, no, I don't want them learning about this. So they're going to go sit in the library the entire time.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff that I was taught was in health class, and that was maybe a few weeks. Maybe a few weeks.
Oh, at my high school, if you were in a health class, they gave you an opt-out form to be able to take to your parents if they didn't want you learning about it in health class.
Hmm.
That shouldn't be an option.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have to take other people telling you, "Oh, hey, that's not what consent is. Oh, hey, if you do this, you can actually get access to services that you need."
And so they leave it to the patchwork to fucking take up the slack. And the
Yeah.
patchwork isn't even fucking there most of the time. No, they mandated that every freshman, instead of doing PE, they had to do health. That was without exception. But the amount that we were taught, considering I was living in North Dakota, was abysmally small. Because this was 22 years ago. There was nothing about consent. It was just, wow, just wash your balls and your clunge and you're good to go. And then it was right on to smoking.
Yeah, Biomagitech, it hurts my heart too, because you have so many teenagers, you have so many young adults, you have so many full-grown adults that still do not understand these concepts. They do not understand how these things work, why they work, because their parents and the education system fucking failed them. It's that simple.
Yep.
Welcome back, Anna.
I'm back. My internet was being fucky.
Ah, welcome back.
So what have you guys been up to?
Talking about the basics of the birds and the bees.
And about how no one is actually learning about the birds and the bees because no one's teaching about it.
Yeah, the fucking people are talking about the turds and the sneeze instead.
God damn it, Anna.
If they're like, if someone's watching this on a replay and they have a teenager and they're not sure how to talk to them about sex or consent or anything like that, call up your local clinic, call up a Planned Parenthood, and just tell them that you need information on sex. They will give you a full, comprehensive course for free anytime. You just have to ask. Just say, "I don't understand this," and they will teach you. Like, absolutely fucking do that. Get the resources so you know how to respond to certain situations, so you know how to identify certain situations, because the CDC wants sex ed to include things about abuse in both heterosexual and non-hetero relationships, but it's not taught.
It definitely should be talked about. Like,
Yeah.
it's an inevitability, unfortunately, in some people's lives, so they should be prepared for it in the case that that happens.
Absolutely. Yeah, that is exactly why you get people like that. It's absolutely why. And I'm so tired of seeing videos of men in positions of power not being able to understand how female anatomy works. Oh, so if she takes this pill while pregnant, it doesn't just go straight to the baby? No. They're different. Oh, you can't just hold your period in? No, you can't.
Yeah.
And women like this, women like Girl Defined, they want to make sure that everyone in their Christian bubble thinks that we are learning things that we're not, and we are making things unsafe for everyone when we're not. and it's more fear mongering. It's more tactics to get people scared.
Yeah. It's absolutely reprehensible in this day and age to be pulling this kind of behavior. I thought after a certain amount of time, we would have outgrown this by now, but apparently not, because there's so many people who have an agenda. Oh well, you're not supposed to have sex. It's of the devil. It's of the devil.
Oh yeah,
No.
because it says right here, since it ignores God's design, safe sex education is not godly.
Well, I would hope they would read their Bible a little bit better, because there is an instruction, a little dated, I would say, about, hey, you want to get an abortion? Yeah, go to the priest.
Oh yeah, the next dive into them after this purity stuff is anti-feminism and anti-abortion.
Oh boy, I'm gonna have a goddamn conniption.
You're also, of course, more than welcome to join me for that.
Oh, of course, I will. Just let me know, and I will be there.
Absolutely.
I will be there. I will be there, searching.
So she says that, she followed God's plan for sex. They never had to worry about getting an STD, becoming single parents, taking birth control, suffering emotional damage. There are so many reasons that women need to take birth control. There are so many ways that you could actually accidentally contract an STD. Like, you could be at the hospital and someone uses the wrong needle on accident. Yes, there's going to be an entire lawsuit, but it's happened.
Yeah, hepatitis, HIV. Yeah, and I've been regularly tested for those because I used to be a lab rat. And let me tell you, as much as I hate needles, I hate having STDs more.
Yeah.
So I don't fucking want them. Don't want STIs, don't want STDs, don't want VD. Don't care, don't want it. Not for me. I like making money. And that's why I put up with the needles and the blood tests.
And that's
Every other
understandable.
month. Every other month for 3 years. And you know what? The funny thing is, if you're in doubt and you're near one of those centers and you're like, I want to do a study, but I don't know if my blood's good, they'll tell you, because a state health department official will show up and tell you, hey, you have hep C, or hey, you have HIV. You need to get out. Plain as day. Plain as day.
Yeah. And see, she says that they entered their wedding day without any sexual baggage. Most people that have had consenting premarital sex really don't have all that much baggage about it.
Yeah.
Their faithfulness to one another before marriage is a strong anchor that draws us even closer today. Your relationship itself, your personal connection, should be that anchor.
I mean, if the foundation for a relationship is being holy to God or some mumbo jumbo, that's a really poor foundation, because I struggle with these people sometimes. Like, you say this, you believe this, but when it comes to the demonstration, you fall apart every time. Is something the matter? Because your foundation kind of sucks, to be honest. And if you can't build a house on a shitty foundation, congratulations, you're going to be in the tent.
Yeah, you are. And she says that God's plan is truly liberating because it produces the best possible long-term results, and safe sex doesn't hold a candle to God's plan. Well, you know what? There are people that save themselves for their husbands. There are people that did all of the things right and ended up divorced. What about them? What about the people that
Yeah.
are widows and widowers? Are they just never supposed to do anything with anyone ever again because God said no? You're missing a lot of context here.
Precisely. And I think that's also a big hang up in the Bible is like what you're supposed to marry your dead brother's wife. It's silly. It's silly. I wouldn't do that.
It's
If my brother died, I wouldn't want to marry her. Come on. That's how far we've changed as a society. We don't have to marry other people on the command of a friggin' book. We don't. We don't have to.
we also
There's nothing stopping
we
you.
don't have to stay married to someone. We don't have to put up with various things just because a book said I had to.
Let's follow all. Let's give the book power over our lives. Yay, book! Yay! Yay!
No,
Shit!
yay, book.
Yay,
The book
book!
that tells us that, we're wrong because we mix fabrics. The same book that says that we should not put any additional holes in our body, beyond our ears.
Can't do tattoos.
Nope.
Can't mutilate your body.
Mm-mm.
God, there's so many do's and don'ts that
don't apply to now and haven't
yeah.
applied to now forever.
Oh, you can't plant two different crops in the same area. No.
Oh no.
No.
Man, farms must be doing terribly, especially like small family farms.
No, they're doing just fine, it seems.
Oh, but the Bible said they're not. It's not God's design.
Yeah. Just like, Christians eating pork. Oh, you're not supposed to eat pork. Says it in the Bible. Are we disregarding the Bible now?
We're disregarding certain parts because it doesn't fit the narrative.
Yeah. And that's essentially cherry picking. Just
like the rest of Christianity, not just their weird thing that they're doing.
Can only have fish on Friday. Only fish. Who the fuck came up with that?
Which is why the fish fillet at McDonald's exists.
I hear the one Arby's is a little better. I tried Hardee's and I got stiffed on them. The sad part is the fish was also stiff.
Oh, apparently, when it comes to safe sex education, it all has to do with our feelings. Feelings over truth. But I just spoke the truth on statistics for the entire country. And they gave me a quote probably from a Christian website and one snippet from the CDC that is correct based on the statistics that I gave.
It sounds like she was trying to juice the statistics so it wasn't totally, pulled out of her ass. To me at least.
Yeah. Let's see, apparently through secular media, we're told that if it feels right for you, do it. If it makes you happy, go for it. Follow your heart wherever it leads you. Well, yeah. And she says that it's the attitude that underlines safe sex education. If you feel like having sex with your boyfriend, go for it. But once again, we aren't taught safe sex.
Yeah, hence the scare quotes around the word safe.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I cannot name anyone that I know personally that received an actual comprehensive education on it.
Yeah, and
They
that's
weren't
sad.
told if you're going to have multiple partners, make sure you're regularly tested so that everyone stays safe. These are your options for birth control. These are your options for condoms. These are everything that you need to do what you can to be as safe as possible.
Yeah,
And I
and
mean,
it went right out the window.
of course it did. It did. And another thing that a lot of these people don't understand is that, you know, when we're taught about like birth control and condoms, we're told, oh, yeah, it's 99% effective. That is a perfect use rate. The perfect use rate is not applicable to many people. You're not going to perfectly take your birth control at the same time every day and keep your weight at the exact same position for months on end. It's going to fluctuate. Things happen.
Yeah,
Birth control is only really like 96, 97% effective, depending on what method you use. Because we are imperfect. We are human.
yeah, and pulling out doesn't count.
There you go. Oh, and see, you know how if you have those lustful thoughts that your mind is rotting? While I was engaged, I had strong feelings and desires for sex. Who doesn't?
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, well, first, I guess I'm speaking for myself here. I'm not engaged whatsoever. Uh, but if fucking happens,
Yeah, it does. It happens. Thoughts and feelings happen. Do people always act on those thoughts or feelings? No,
no, no,
because a lot of people are actually very rational. They're not just going to go out and be like, oh, I like your face. I'm going to jump your bones like right now. That's not how it works in the real world.
no. It's never how it's worked. Never. There's usually, meeting in the middle of sorts. You'll have to pardon that expression. But yeah, this bold piece right here, right? Don't buy into the modern religion of feelings.
Yep.
What?
Like you
What?
see, us women folk, we're not supposed to follow our feelings. We are supposed to sit around, pray, wait, and hope that God shows us our husband. Because if we get those lustful feelings, then our brains are rotted and we're terrible people and are not following God's plan, according to them.
Yeah. I'd have to say somebody bought into feelings a little too hard. I feel God does X, does Y, does Z. Yeah, well, that's just what you feel. But feels don't always into reals.
No, they don't.
I guess. Hmm. You'll have to bear with, but yeah, feels don't into reels, and this my speech disfluency is showing.
Sorry about that.
No, I understand. I kind of detest dead air at times.
Oh yeah, no, it's
So
perfectly
I,
fine. I
I'm,
mean,
I'm trying
I
trying to
already know.
be.
I already know Lizard's going to complain about this later because he's gotten on my case about it before. How I don't have background music, but you know what? I don't have a second
I,
monitor, and I
I
don't want to share the system audio.
yeah. I have 3 monitors, and I don't share audio at all. And I am supposed to do a show later tonight, which I kind of doubt I'm going to do because I got about 3 o'clock in the morning,
Oh,
and my show
that'll do
doesn't
it.
start until 10 at night.
Damn
Not
it,
for another
John.
12. Yeah, yeah. That's what I get for having a really screwy sleep schedule.
It happens. I mean, to everyone, but apparently not to, Girl Defined, because they're godly. They listen to everything that God says.
Oh yeah,
They're so smart.
on command.
Yeah, like, how when you save yourself for marriage, you're giving your husband a rare, rare gift. Okay, so you see, what we've covered so far from them is that, women can't have lustful thoughts. Women should not hold themselves in high regard. Women should not feel value in themselves outside of what God says that we should feel. But we're supposed to be a rare, rare gift.
That doesn't sound like a very rare gift. It sounds like a very, I don't know. The effect of saving oneself is, I guess for some people it might be more validating, but to me it's counterintuitive.
I think that if someone wants to save themselves for marriage, that should be a personal choice that is not guided by fear of a dude living in the sky.
That's better than what I said, so I'll go with that.
'Cause,
That is a bit better than, yeah.
if you're
You can
basing your entire life off of something that is imaginary, something that does not immediately affect you,
Mhm.
then you're just going to live in fear. And that is what these women are trying to push, is you should be living in fear. And this is only
Yeah.
on purity. This is on your body. This isn't even talking about, their homophobia, their transphobia, their bigotry. This isn't talking about all of the things that they have done wrong and tried to get rid of.
Yeah. Reading the subtext underneath the heading. If I was given a $400 deluxe toolkit as a wedding gift, I wouldn't know what to do with it. But that's me. I don't get into tools.
I do believe that let's see. This one is Kristen?
Hmm.
Yeah, it's Kristen. Her husband Zach is a carpenter.
Ah, Christ-like.
Yeah, he has to live in Christ. I don't know what the men's ministries do and tell them,
Mhm.
but I mean, I guess every man should be a carpenter.
Hmm.
I don't know what y'all do in those groups.
Yeah. Oh, just put up a cross. Oh, good
Oh,
job. Good job. T for effort.
they need to get off their cross. We need the wood.
Oh yeah. For sure. They do. They need to come down.
This is probably like my favorite thing that they have said. Sex becomes about two, not just you.
In a certain way, yeah, that's right. But not in the way that they're about to talk about it.
Oh, absolutely not. Because you see, masturbation's a sin. It's wrong. You should not do that. You should not explore yourself and figure out what you like, especially as a woman. You should wait for your husband, who has never seen you naked and never touched you, to figure it out himself.
Yeah. It's not a lot to go on. Nobody knows what the hell they're doing, and they're supposed to, you know, play pelvic pinochle.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, these are also the
silly.
same people that, don't know that there are multiple holes down there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's the same type of people.
Yeah. It's a woman, not an electric plug.
But God created sex to thrive in a committed marriage relationship. Highlight on the relationship from Genesis 2:24.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, that is an out of context quote.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna look that up. Huh. All right. Yeah, that doesn't say a whole hell of a lot. Therefore shall a man leave his father and mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. Which is after Adam said, "This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman."
So they're just in a relationship. It doesn't say anything about them being married.
Yeah,
It
it
just
does
says
not.
they are one flesh. You can be
Mhm.
one flesh with your partner and live in a committed relationship for multiple years without ever getting married.
Mhm. And some people do.
They do.
Yeah.
I know someone that's been in a committed relationship with their partner for 15 years. They cohabitate. They're doing great. But they're not married. Who gives a shit?
Yeah. Like my uncle and his basically girlfriend have been together for like the last 3 decades plus, and they're not married. They don't go and fool around. His heart's bad, and she works at FedEx. Who cares?
My mom and
Like,
her boyfriend cohabitate. They've been together for over a decade and they're not getting married anytime soon. My mom was like, I did the marriage thing once, never again. Okay, cool.
yeah,
You do you. But thank goodness there's not some man in the sky telling you have to do this or else you're not a woman.
I think people would be genuinely scared if there was a man in the sky watching everything you do at every hour of every day. And he has a list of things he does not want you to do. And if you do any of these things, you're sent to a pit of absolute infernal fucking torture where you basically are rended asunder for the until the end of time. But he loves you and he needs money.
Oh, yeah.
Why?
You see, it seems like there's a lot more limitations on women.
Than there are on men.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. A hell of a lot more. And these women who should be uplifting and supporting other women who hold seminars about loving your sisterhood are just fucking tearing everyone the fuck down.
Yeah. I guess in a way that tearing down could be considered a function of like basic training where they attempt to mold you into a soldier, but in this case it's a brainwashed would-be wife.
Oh, you can't refer to women as soldiers when I do the transphobia, homophobia, and bigotry stream, there is one that I have that's called When Boys Play Princess and Girls Play Soldier. Can't play soldier when you're a woman.
Wonderful.
Oh, yes, it is going to be wonderful.
I may absolutely lose my shit on that one.
Oh, I lost my shit just finding them.
Oh, Lord.
The titles of some of them are mind-blowingly bad. And they keep saying, "Oh, it's cancel culture. It's cancel culture." No, it's not cancel culture when you title an article "How to Show Love Towards Prostitutes, Homosexuals, and Muslims."
I saw that, and I was like, "Who? Okay, who? All right, who's been hitting the sacramental wine again?"
They
Yeah.
have a lot because we've got the gay pride movement and their sneaky agenda.
Oh yeah, that agenda. That's gonna piss me the fuck off.
The trend of the feminine guy.
The agenda, which is be gay Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday is extra gay, Monday is back to regular gay, and Tuesday is tacos.
I do like Taco Tuesday.
Yes, I do.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. I wish they delivered though. Fucking Taco Johns.
This title is one of my favorite ones. Thinking clearly in the most dysfunctional genderation. Yeah, I know.
Fucking Christ. Ugh.
Yeah.
Holy, that is so unabashedly ham-fisted of a.
Oh, but it's cancel culture that's causing companies to not want to give them sponsorship and promotional deals. It's cancel culture. It's not the fact that these companies want to embrace everyone so that they can make more money.
Yeah,
It's
it's not in the best interest of a corporation to just start shunning random people or entire groups of people. They want money. Why would the fuck would they do that? That is bad capitalism. Bad.
Oh yeah, it's so terrible. We totally shouldn't send these archived blog posts that are really not all that difficult to find if you search for them.
Yeah, this kind of takes me back in a way to Fundy say the darndest things, and there are some. Oh my god, oh, there are some very yikesy fucking things I've seen.
Absolutely.
Like running through angels in a bathtub, wink wink, nudge nudge, and then Hepzibah house.
I remember that one.
Yeah. Ugh.
Oh, I think the funniest thing that a Fundy has ever said was when Jim Bob Duggar said that anyone that partakes in CP and things of the like should be in jail for life.
Wah, wah.
Yeah. But this section of Fundyism that Girl Defined lives in is so much harder on the whole woman role thing. It's so much harder on the live in fear. These are your expectations. This is what you should want. This is how you should think, how you should dress, how you should act.
Yeah, as if women needed more bullshit in life. And they get a pretty big fucking helping of bullshit. And Yeah. I'm shaking my head, and I'm at a loss for words because there's uh they get a few extra trays of bullshit. Fresh, steaming, piping hot bullshit laid on the front step.
Every single fucking day. And we're expected to go through our lives with this bullshit. And then you have women like this that say, oh, your bullshit is invalid because you're a woman and you should be waiting for your husband, not trying to do anything else.
This kind of entails like aspects of a mahram, like a guardian in a way, but it's more women with a obvious biblical leaning, telling them what they should do and and how they should dress and everything like this. It's quite annoying,
It is.
to say
It's
the
the
least.
absolute worst. And this is why I started with the purity stuff, because the titles that I read you from the transphobia shit and the homophobia shit, like, that's it's so far removed from what Christianity should be. It's
Mhm.
so far removed from where we as a society should be.
Yeah,
There's one article they have titled, Should Christian Women Embrace the Transgender Movement? And the answer is A, it's not a fucking movement. It's people becoming who they are. It is people embracing themselves.
precisely.
And secondly, yes, Christian women absolutely should embrace it, because the entire thing about Christianity is supposed to be, oh, love your neighbor as you love yourself, love everyone, embrace everyone, learn more about them, open heart, open mind. But everyone's so closed off, and bitches like this close people off even fucking further.
Yeah, the ossification of of power and influence into a cult like mindset such as this make it really hard for people to, even if they are religious, to actually practice the precepts that they believe in, and turning it into a private club of sorts where exclusion is the norm and not the exception. Oh, you have
Oh,
to
but
be
see,
prim and proper, you know.
they're in, they're in Texas. So
Oh
their
Lord.
brand of Christianity really is closed off and sectioned off, and they're fucking insane.
Yeah, I can see this. They've taken things to extremes, uh, in more than one way, and I don't think it's going to get better. But as I would suggest that they have a nice, healthy schism, a big, just a big get together, call it a schism. Hey, fuck you, we're breaking off. You can take this prim and proper purity culture bullshit and jam it straight up your ass. We'll be back when you've, I don't know, taken life less seriously.
Oh, but they have to take life seriously because they're women. They have to make sure that other women know how seriously their life is and how seriously their body is. And they have to educate them on more than just, transgenderism and homosexuality. They also have to tell them, there's 3 side effects of loving yourself. Self-esteem, why Christian girls don't need it.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say they are very warped.
Oh yeah,
They're absolutely.
you don't need to have a self-esteem when you're not doing anything with anyone. You don't need to have a self-esteem when you're just patiently waiting for God to bring you your husband. In this season of singleness, as they like to fucking call it, you you don't have to love yourself. You don't have to do anything. You just sit and wait.
And that would be a very boring fucking life, just sitting around and waiting.
I think that boredom is why they started pushing their ideals out like this.
Yeah, more than likely. They just got bored and couldn't think of any other way to justify their time except in twisting the Bible to suit their own needs and to play into power, which is yeah, that's how they keep women subjugated. That's yeah.
Yep. That's absolutely fucking it. And there's so many parents of teenage girls that spend money on this shit. Send them to seminars, send them to conferences, buy their books, push out this message of you're a woman, you shouldn't do anything for yourself because that's not what God wants. You shouldn't embrace who you are as a person because that's not what God wants. You should not educate yourself on your body, on sex, on anything because that's up to your fucking husband.
Yeah. The antiquated belief also of women being their husband's chattels, which is already unfucking thinkable in this day and age. Nobody is the property of another. Nobody.
Oh, but see, all of us women folk are property of God and our dads until our husbands come along.
Ugh. That is silly. Yet again, silly beliefs. We live in silly times, and these are silly people.
We live in a world where these people have net assets of $93,000.
What 93 grand in assets?
Yes, for their nonprofit. I have the tax forms.
Oh boy. I guess we're gonna skim through those at a later point, aren't we?
Oh, yes, we are. We're also going to look at what they released to be their yearly budget, which was just a crudely made graphic.
Like Windows 95 crude, Microsoft Paint crude, or Brent crude. I'm sorry, that's an oil joke.
It's slightly better than that. It looks like they actually use the different functions within Paint, like make boxes and stuff.
Oh no.
And just typed into it. Yeah, it's cute, but it's not an official expense report. But because they are a Christian nonprofit, by the way, there's someone named Lola that ever comes across this. If you are a religious based nonprofit and you are making money in any sort of way and putting that money back into the business, you need to file a 990 for your taxes. That is how they make sure that you are on the up and up. That is how they make sure that you are doing the things that you need to do as a religious based nonprofit.
Yep.
Anyone that has one can find their 990.
Can I start a religion and file a 990?
Yeah. I mean,
Cool.
technically, but as long as you're like a nonprofit organization,
Mm-hmm.
It can be religious based. Girl Defined Ministries is very much a terrible religious based entity.
Oh, there's a lot of them, but this one will be the subject of our assize.
Because us, we have to define ourselves as girl, because they're giving us fucking nothing to work with here.
Yeah. A fat load of nothing to work with.
I mean, they keep bringing up that, having premarital sex is going to give you sexual baggage. This is like the third time I've come across this today.
What exactly is
Heavy
if that's
sexual baggage because you had a partner outside of wedlock, because you may have had multiple partners outside of wedlock. Uh, Mind you, they're only ever talking about consenting partners
Mhm.
because they did fuck up one time. And Lizard, fuck off, okay? I told you. I fucking told you.
The background music, play some in your mind. There's your background music.
I don't have another monitor, so it's harder for me to be able to do things like that. You boob.
Oh yeah, Our Lady of Perpetual Exemption. Yeah.
I Slim. See that right there? That
Yeah.
I'm rotten inside. Sorry.
Oh no, you need to be saved. You need to put your life and everything before God, etc., etc., etc.
Oh no, I need to sit down. I need to tell God all of the things I've done wrong, and I have to hope that my future husband forgives them all.
You know what? I'm gonna do a little prayer here. Dear God, go fuck yourself. You're not entitled to any of my sexual escapades. You dim-witted prick. Go fuck yourself. Amen.
See, this time she went into a little bit more detail here about the sexual baggage.
Okay.
Uh, you know, every Christian girl I've ever talked to who has engaged in premarital sex has always regretted it. Even when they ended up marrying the guy, they have to deal with things like shame, guilt, unwanted images in their mind, the struggle to trust men, relearning how to be intimate with their own husband, and in some cases, sexually transmitted diseases. We are right back to the scare tactics of STDs.
If it's like a stick and a carrot. The carrot is you can you can obey God or you can be beaten with the stick, and the stick is scare tactics like STDs and God hating you and you're rotten and shit like that. What
I'm betting that every Christian woman that she's talked to that has regretted it and stated that they regret it is because she pressured them into believing that they did wrong, that they did a bad,
Mhm.
that people in their church were like, oh, you're so terrible. Shame on you. But it's not like that. It's okay to have premarital sex. It is okay to want to experience things. It is okay to want to understand yourself and your partner in an intimate way. It is not okay to tell other women how they should feel about their previous encounters. It's not okay to slut shame constantly. Because that's exactly what they do.
Hit him with all the uh, emotional manipulation and arguments and appeals to spooky language in the hopes that they will conform to this warped ideal, and it's bad, unequivocally.
Well, if we aren't part of this warped ideal, then we are in the wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, and we're right back to we are not supposed to value ourselves at all, but
Yeah,
we set ourselves apart as highly valuable.
It's kind of like, okay, I don't really quote this guy very often, but Christopher Hitchens saying basically created sick and commanded to be well. Created sick but commanded to be well. it it's so blatant. It's so out there. And it's so bullshit.
Yeah, like this line right here. When you choose to save the gift of sex for marriage, you tell every guy out there that you are worth more than your body. Do you know what tells people I am worth more than my body?
Taking care of
Everything
it.
else.
Yeah,
Like
taking care of it.
it I'm sorry, like I understand that they were taught at their dining room table. I understand that their mother has stunted them in a terrible fucking way. But if you cannot understand that you as a person already have value, you're not going to go very far. That's why you're sitting around waiting for a husband to tell you that you're valuable.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you can make posts about how women don't need self esteem, how you're going to give up the me time thing because that time should be spent with God. You don't need to love yourself. It's infuriating the way that they try and paint out what a real fucking life is.
Yeah. They call this a life?
Yeah.
This is I don't even know what to call this. But it's not a life. It's not a life that anybody should have to endure.
This is a life
It's
that they are actively encouraging other people to partake in. They are actively telling parents of teenage girls, oh, we'll help them define themselves as a godly woman. They are telling young college girls, oh, hey, we will help you on the right path to being who you're supposed to be in the eyes of God. This isn't how it's supposed to be.
not at all. Not at all. Yeah.
Yes,
It's like
that's
playing a shitty video game where the rules suck.
and the rules do fucking suck. And making others follow the rules is horrible. Like, if you want to live in that shitty fucking existence, you do you. Go ahead. Be as godly as you want to claim to be. Even though I'm pretty sure that if there were a God, he wouldn't be about putting other people down for no reason. He wouldn't be lumping homosexuals, prostitutes, and Muslims into the same thing and learning how to show them love, not actually embrace them as individuals and love them.
Isn't there a direct commandment from Jesus? That which you do to the least of me, you do to all of me.
I don't think that they got that far.
That is sad.
Yeah, see, I think that, they did what most Christians on the internet do, what most people that run a ministry do. They typed in the keywords of what they wanted and got that confirmation bias without reading the actual scripture and understanding what it says.
Yeah. Like that's a worse form of cafeteria Christianity I've ever seen.
But it
Absolute
is.
cherry picking. Oh yeah, it's easy, but it's junk food. It's not a meal.
Well, yeah, there's never going to be a meal because, I don't have a husband, so I guess I can't eat.
That is
Yeah, he does. Go ahead. Usually he's supposed to fill your holes, but it can go the opposite way.
I mean,
You
he
do
can
you.
be he can be fulfilled in the bowels of the Lord. Go ahead, Slim, nail him.
Oh, Hyun, we found it again.
Oh,
1 Corinthians.
1 Corinthians 13. Okay, I'm gonna look that up.
Oh, it's the one that starts out, love is patient, love is kind. You know, the one that they
Oh,
read at weddings all the fucking time.
oh, the shit that people buy and hang up in their bathroom.
Yes, that's the one.
Oh wow.
Every other blog post that we've looked at in the purity section has had this in it. Because, true love will always wait. And it's, according to them, it's true. And they're not talking about love defined by Hollywood and Nashville. Nashville. Hollywood and Nashville. That's where we're at right now.
Amazing.
Yeah. I don't know what love defined by Nashville is exactly, but I'm kind of curious. I mean, Dolly Parton has quite a few things to say on love, and I trust her. She's been in a successful marriage for years, doing her own thing, living her life, having a great career, and we hardly ever see her husband, but they're happy.
Mm.
If that's the love that they're talking about with Nashville, then that's the exact opposite of what they're preaching in everything that we've read.
Yeah.
But the country singers in that area mostly just sing about sex in more subtle terms.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all well and good. Like, go ahead, do it. Have the sex, but don't let Girl Defined find out.
Yeah.
You'll be slut shamed
That
into oblivion and probably have a blog post and maybe a video about you.
that'd be interesting.
Also,
In
never ever try and write in to like their question and answer videos because they they stick their foot in their mouth a lot.
Amazing. So they
Yeah.
have foot and mouth disease.
They do, except this particular instance of foot and mouth disease came in the form of a woman writing in asking about how to regain her purity and if there was a way to, because she had had both consensual and non-consensual interactions with her boyfriend, and she felt guilt, she felt bad, she wanted to try and change that.
And I guess the response was
They
absolutely tone deaf.
they told her that she was sexually broken and that she was a sinful girl. She had non-consensual interactions with her boyfriend and flat out stated that she had non-consensual interactions with her boyfriend, and they called her sexually broken and sinful.
That's disgusting. That is a disgusting response to a sincere question. Even though
Yeah,
I might not fucking believe, that is a disgusting and reprehensible thing to fucking say to somebody. And
they
if
preach purity so fucking hard that they can take the time to call someone broken because of something out of their control. They can call someone sinful because of something out of their control. They keep talking about God's plan. Was that God's plan for her? Because that's really fucked up.
yeah, it is. There's no dithering with that at all. Oh, yeah.
That's because they're garbage. Because they're pieces of shit. Because they think with their holier than thou art attitudes about sex and marriage that if something happens to you out of your control, you're terrible. They can't hang with you. You're a slut. You must be awful, even though you didn't fucking want it. Because that's what their God says. That's what their beliefs say.
I don't even know what to say.
Yeah.
I don't.
Oh, see, they did their best to delete that question and answer video, but I have the clips.
Oh God.
Yeah. And you very clearly hear them read non-consensual and consensual. And they followed it up with that. The only reason that they deleted the video and they put out an apology was because multiple YouTubers called them out on it. They didn't think they were in the wrong until it was blasted.
Wow.
But it's cancel culture causing people to hate them. It's cancel culture that's making it to where, oh, we're losing money. No, it's because you're fucking stupid. It's because you're disgusting. It is because you do not know what other women have been through and continue to go through. You're only focused on what you think is right and holy because you fucking did it. Quit pushing ideals onto other people that just aren't compatible with how reality is. You were raised in a bubble. You will continue to be in that goddamn fucking bubble unless you take your head out of your ass and learn something. Do some research, not just confirmation bias.
For sure. They've seen fit to measure all women by a warped standard. And it's disgusting.
They measure women, they measure men, they measure everything in life based on their bubble.
And I say that bubble should pop.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason why I am going into all of these posts is because that bubble, parts of that bubble have been removed from their blog. It's been removed from their videos, but other people have archived it. Other people have it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't save those things and expect to just get away with it. You need to be held accountable for the fuck shit that you do. And in the case of Girl Defined Ministries, they want to tell everyone, absolutely everyone, that there's a gay agenda, that feminine men are a trend, that transgenderism is a trend, that it's all mental illness. They want to tell people that, oh, the Bible can help you with things like depression, eating disorders, and porn addictions. Oh, Christian girl, you don't need to love yourself more.
No, you just need to stick your nose in a Bible and leave it there.
You need to stay in a bubble and hope that nothing bad ever fucking happens to you, or else we'll call you names and slut shame you. You better hope that you're, the same straight white person I am, or else I am going to tell other people that they should hate you.
The absolute vitriolic reaction to the modern day.
Yeah.
Goddamn bubbles.
Preaching purity culture. only goes so far. All of the women that I know that were raised in some form of purity culture have a lot of religious trauma because of it. They have a lot of issues with themselves and their bodies because of it. They have fears of various things because they were told, oh, you're feeling this, you're wrong. You shouldn't feel this at all. You should only feel that for your husband. Oh, you think he's cute? Slut.
Yeah.
Oh, and Ami, I literally read that from the title of their post, by the way.
Yeah, that was meant to give context,
Yes.
not necessarily to give credence to their dogma, their absolute dogmatic instructions.
And yet somehow society as a whole, beyond, well, actually, it's more like the powers that be in most places, think that giving people like this a platform is perfectly acceptable.
I find them to be misguided and reprehensible.
When you're over the age of 30, when you have lived out of your parents' house for so long, when you have had the access to the internet that you have, because they're always online, I can no longer call you misguided because you could have learned that shit on your own.
Okay.
You're a hateful human being. You're a piece of shit. You are
and
so stuck in hatred for other people, and yet you won't love yourself, but clearly you love your fucking self with how your fucking budget looks.
I would have to say, rather than misguided, willfully ignorant. Willfully. They could have looked the stuff up, but they don't. They don't seek the truth. They seek power, reassurance.
Oh yeah, there's actually
validation.
There's a video on their channel right now where they're talking about sex and singleness, because they're in their 30s and married, and that's what they should be preaching about. And the sexual psychologist that they talk to works for the Family Freedom Foundation, the conservative, right-leaning foundation. So instead of talking to someone with knowledge on how things should be, how you should interpret yourself, your body, your worth, they talk to someone that's just going to, once again, confirm everything that they were taught growing up, everything that they still choose to follow and believe in.
I think it is amazing that they have the nerve to say things akin to, oh, well, you're in an echo chamber. Oh, this is what mass media tells you, etc., etc. No. You have clearly aligned yourself with beliefs that don't serve any function in society except to extract people's wealth and make them hate each other for no good goddamn reason. None. There's literally no reason. Except to in the perverse way to please the sky daddy and to wave the flag. Oh, I'm pure. I'm pure. It falls on
Neither of
its
them were
place.
pure. Neither
I
of
know.
them.
I know.
Neither.
But
They're just. their form of an echo chamber, their bubble, their everything is the exact reason why whitewashed history and things like that need to stop.
Yes.
Because all it does is further push their belief that because they're straight and white, nothing bad's going on. Nothing bad's happened. And they do cover that a good bit in, the fact that one of the sisters decided to make a Pocahontas dress, dye her hair black, and wear it on Thanksgiving in 2020.
What?
Yeah.
Christ. Ah.
Let's disregard the fact that Pocahontas's native indigenous husband was killed, that her first child was taken away from her, that she was raped by multiple colonizers, forced to marry someone, forced to change her religion, forced to do everything. But
and then shipped over to England. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it's just a cute outfit. No, it's an entire fucking history. It's more than what you think.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, but these are the godly people that we're supposed to listen to. These are the godly women that are supposed to teach other women how to be.
It ain't right. It's just good Lord.
Yeah. And people still buy into it. People still support them. People still donate $30,000 at the end of every year to their organization for something. They never say what it's for. They just say it's the end of year donations. Cool. What does that money go to? Who are you helping? Besides yourselves.
I
Besides
think it might
confirming
just.
all of your shit.
I think they're only helping themselves. That sort of self-enrichment at the expense of others.
Yeah, I sure as shit don't feel helped.
I don't feel any help either.
I don't think any person in chat or lurkers or anything that identify as female feel helped.
It's a gross disservice.
Yes, it is. It absolutely is. And that's why it needs to be called the fuck out. That is why we can't continue to just let people like them skirt by and do what they want, because you end up with Pocahontas outfits in 2020. You end up with women and their husbands ignoring the fact that their great grandfather was a Nazi and deleting comments about it.
Yeah, that's another big tell, hiding history.
Yeah, she was when she was in Austria with her husband for their honeymoon. She said that she was in Austria spending time with people that were affected by the war, without mentioning the fact that she was staying in a house that was owned by her Nazi relatives that was acquired during the war.
Wow.
I have the articles on their great grandfather. He was a mayor, actually. He was a
Really?
Nazi mayor, yeah. And the only reason that he got removed from his mayorship was because the war ended and he got arrested.
Well,
but they don't want to talk about that. They don't want to admit that that's a thing. They don't want to talk about the fact that their brother is nicknamed after that grandfather and great grandfather and goes by Hans.
wow. Wow. I thought those kinds of names died out after the war, but Hans?
His name is Stephen, but he goes by Hans to honor his great grandfather. You know, the Nazi.
Wow.
The literal Nazi.
Fuck Stephen.
Fuck all of them.
Yeah.
And fuck everything that they continue to try and push on other people. Fuck everything that they think is wrong with society when it's really them. Oh, and the thing is, tight, Biomagitech, we haven't even started reading the blog posts on these various things. I haven't shown you the Facebook posts of them with the grave. I haven't. We're skimming the surface. We haven't even gone into detail on it. Which is why I said this is going to be a multi-part thing, because we're 2 hours in and we've skimmed except for the purity culture stuff.
Yeah. This is probably going to be like reaching Challenger Deep.
I mean, the next thing that I want to cover is their anti-feminism and anti-abortion stances. Because while it does play directly into the purity stuff, I don't want to stream for more than 2.5 hours at a time.
Fair.
Yeah. People have things to do. I don't want to occupy all of their time. So, also, with all the shit that I have, we would be here all day, all at once. And that's a lot of information to take in, and that's a lot of fuck shittery, and people need a cleanse.
Yeah. Gotta get the stink out for a little bit before diving back into the big pool of mud. You know?
And it is a pool of mud.
Among other things, I imagine. Mud being a constituent. Probably some very nasty shit. Bile, filth. You name it.
Yeah, you name it, it's in there. It is, while doing this research, I just learned, because I thought at first they were just, two women teaching other women how to be pure and godly. That's all I thought they were, because that's what they advertise themselves as. That's what they put out on the surface. But that's not what they are. They are women teaching other women how to be racist, how to be homophobic, transphobic, how to be scared of everyone and everything in this society besides your husband and God.
Fear.
Yeah, it's all based in fucking fear. Fear that their straight, white, conservative Christian lifestyle is going to die out because it's fuck shittery. As it should.
Yeah, this is a thing to contend with.
Yeah.
And this is a series that you're going to be doing, that you are doing. This is the first one. Duh, yes.
Oh, damn it, Hyun, where do you think you are?
Uh, where do I think I am? I'm here. I'm here. You're there. We're
And
fucking everywhere.
and Girl Defined is in their bubble in Texas, probably considering writing more blog posts like the ones that I have, but they know they can't because cancel culture.
Sounds like they put their blog on cancel. Yeah, we're just gonna set this aside for now. Ooh, ooh. No, I'm not trapped in the computer. Ami, I'm not.
No, he's trapped, or they're trapped in their Amber monitor.
Surprisingly, that's not on right now.
That is surprising, actually. Like, it's always on.
I try not to put too many hours on it, to be honest.
It is. Yeah, it's an Amber
is,
monitor.
Yeah, not only that, but Amber is susceptible to burn-in, which is why I keep it off unless I'm doing stuff away from the computer. Because it does have a speaker, which is great, but I don't want to get too far off the remit of this stream.
I might stream the next part on Friday. I might wait until next week. It just kind of depends on how the week goes.
Fair.
But the next part is anti-feminism and anti-abortion, with such hits as the feminist attack on God's design for womanhood. Feminists say men are women's number one problem. A popular way to lose your respect as a girl. Can women really have it all? And why thousands of women are shouting their abortion. Yeah, these are all actual things that they have put out there.
Yeah. I imagine that's going to make some really God damn it, Vanessa. Vanessa, you can ask that question later.
Yeah, for real. Just hit me up later.
Yeah.
But yeah, after the feminism and abortion stuff, it all takes a fucking nosedive.
Oh boy. The nosedive. That's is that what the siren's on? As the
Yeah. Absolutely. We're skimming the surface, we're enjoying the weird things they say while also yelling at them, but no, after part 2 there will be no jokes to have. It gets terrible. It gets dark, it gets serious, it gets to the point that I'm still shocked that people like this exist. That people like this put these thoughts and ideals out there, or have put them out there and tried to get rid of them. And
so,
yes, Ty. Yes.
So this
There's
is
so much to these people.
I was gonna say, so this is going to be a fuck shittery scarcely paralleled.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Thank you for joining me in this this dive.
Oh, well.
I'm sorry, the skim, because dive is coming.
Who knows? I might be down for the dive too.
Sweet.
Because this is going to be some stuff that I may write about later. I don't know. I literally, whenever it comes to me, you'll know. And you can bet it will be probably a lot of invective. A lot of invective. Because just lightly touching the surface. This is viscerally pissing me off.
Yeah. And all of the things that I have mentioned, I have screenshots. I have the receipts. This isn't something that I would do if I didn't have the receipts.
True. Yeah.
And of course, in true dumbass fashion, they're the ones that put it all out there.
Not too smart.
Are they ever, though?
Don't know. Doesn't sound like they are.
Yeah. And I think that everyone should have an issue with these kind of people. But we live in a society and they're supported and they are bankrolled. And they can give all of this shit to impressionable teenage girls that are already unsure and skeptical of themselves and their lives. And I hate to end a stream on such a fucking bad note, but there's nothing good about this.
Whatsoever.
Yes, they are predators.
Yeah, that hit the nail on the head. They are predatory. Absolutely. Just wow.
Slim, I will absolutely let you know. Because I would love to hear your thoughts on a lot of this as well. Okay, so I will definitely let everyone know when the next one is. Biomagitech. I didn't know that religions like this existed for the longest time because I was raised in a church where we had open lesbians that would babysit for, and we had women in power within the church, and they offered NA and AA and anger management to the community throughout the week and invited all of the participants to come to service on Sunday. Granted, I am not a Christian anymore. But that is what I thought Christianity was. That's what Christianity should be. But then there's people like this.
See, I was raised secularly because my grandparents and my family before my brother was born, they went over to Saudi Arabia in the 70s.
Ooh.
And they got to see firsthand how things are done over there. Now, they've changed, but fundamentally, some things haven't changed. But I guess that's a horse of a different color. I guess that's primarily why Grandma and Grandpa didn't profess any religion at all.
I mean, saying that fundamentally a lot of things haven't changed applies to many places and religions as well.
Well, back in the 70s, the religious police did have a lot of sway, and they could arrest people. But since as of 2018, not anymore. That's one of the major things. Because I have a couple stories that my grandpa told me before he passed about, Women have to dress a certain way. Doesn't matter where you come from, they have to conform. Women were not allowed to drive at the time. Public executions, still common. My grandma and my mom accidentally got on a bus and saw one. Not good.
No.
So, yeah, I guess that had a fundamental sway in our family. No, we're not doing this religion shit.
I mean,
I'm
not going to be upset if someone is religious or spiritual. I am only going to be upset or anything if they do shit like this. The shit that we're covering. You can praise Sky Daddy all you fucking want. I do not care.
I used to care, but now I don't. I think in my aging over time, I just you want to do your religion thing, that's fine. But if it starts impacting public policy or how things are going societally, I'm going to have words. I'm going to have many words. So that's just me. That's just me. The Sky Dads are going to be upset with me though.
Well, look, sometimes all you have to do is tell Sky Daddy to give you a spanking, okay? Like maybe that'll help.
Wow.
I want to thank everyone that watched and stayed and wants to partake in the dive for doing this with me. I absolutely appreciate all of you. Hyun, thank you for joining me.
Not a problem.
And yes, I will let you know when the next one is, and I will let Slim know.
All right.
And we're going to go ahead and end it because it's been like 2.5 hours, and I need to do laundry. I need to
do stuff too. Yeah, I feel that. I feel that on a very base level. I need to do stuff too. I don't want to do stuff, but I gotta.
If I get up and go do stuff, then I won't focus in on my thoughts on this.
That's fair. Yeah.
I have sacrificed a lot of sanity for this, I will say.
Oh, yeah, I will look after myself. It's important to always at least try to take care of yourself.
Yeah, so
at least try.
Thank you guys. I love you all, and I'll see you on the next one.
Later, peeps.